the middle sibling in the Volvo SUV range, the XC60. Definitely my personal favorite in the Volvo SUV range. It's a pretty big vehicle, but very, very neat. You can see the lovely styling. Of course, your Thor's hammer headlights, as they call them over here. It's got the cornering lights. This car, in inscription spec, which is Volvo's more luxurious spec, has got everything you can possibly want. Very, very neat, very nice. Massive 22-inch wheels on this particular car as well. But it certainly does suit it, you can see. As I said, it's a pretty large car. 5-seater. And you have a look over here in the back seat. And talk about space for the family. It really is stretch out, large. You can see you've got aircon vents in the door pillars over here for the rear passengers. You've got ISOFIX, of course. You've got a Bauer & Wilkins upgraded sound system. All the features you'd expect from a luxury vehicle, including this very light creamy colored leather upholstery. Looks beautiful, very, very comfortable, of course. And those are features and facts that you really, really want. And you come around, of course, to the back, and you've got, again, the boomerang-shaped tail lights that go all the way up to the top over here. Very neat, very distinctive, very, very Volvo, shall I say. And you've got that, of course, where you can open and close the tailgate like that. Nice feature over here is if you press this button over here, the car literally drops. Nice for loading, nice for all that. The reason and the trick there, of course, is besides the space saver spare wheel, of course, you've got air suspension. That makes a very big difference and makes the ride very, very comfortable. Nice big boot, of course. Drop the rear seats 2/3, 1/3 if you want. All the features you would expect from a luxury vehicle these days. And of course, you just pop that to close. Now, of course, the feature of this test and why we're testing another XC60 is D4 all-wheel drive. We all know XC60 all-wheel drive. I'm not going to talk too much about that. The safety, the security, the road holding, dirt roads, etc. But D4 means diesel power, 2 liters, 140 kilowatts, 400 newton meters of torque. That's not bad at all. And it certainly gives you quite a bit of oomph, quite a bit of go. But it's not one of the top ones. It's sort of almost at the lower end. And in fact, it is the smallest engine option in the XC60. But that doesn't mean it's lacking in any way. Let's look inside. As always, we start by looking at fuel consumption. And this is pretty interesting because we've done 492 kilometers on this test, averaging 8.2 liters per 100. Now that has involved quite a lot of town driving, commuting, etc. What I find particularly interesting and why I keep saying this is my favorite in the XC range is we just had the XC40, the smaller brother, with the same engine, and we averaged 8 liters per 100. Now just picture the extra space, the extra room, the extra comfort, the extra everything. You're just getting more of everything in this version and basically getting the same fuel economy. It's quite an interesting factor as far as I'm concerned. Of course, you get all the safety kit that Volvo do, and especially on inscription. And you get city safe, you get pedestrian detection, you get turning headlights, all those features that are very standard, as I said to you. You get the tablet infotainment screen from Volvo, which works nicely, although I must tell you that I did find programming the navigation somewhat clumsy and a bit of a nuisance, and it wasn't picking up all the destinations that I tried to program into it on this car. Not sure why, whether it was me or what it was, but that's a fact of this particular car. Your normal, again, Volvo 8-speed automatic gearbox, really smooth, comfortable. It is a pleasure to drive, and it really is relaxing and nice and easy. And of course, looking at the screen, you do of course have the selectable drive modes. I had it in comfort almost all the time, didn't worry with dynamic because this isn't a performance version. But if you have a look down at the bottom, the off-road, rough road setting, I did have to go onto some dirt road along the way in this test, and I used it for that. Handled it perfectly, absolutely breezed through it, so that does help as well. It's features like that that make all the difference in the world. And of course, you've got your seat settings, for example, heating, cooling, or everything works through the center tablet. Nice and easy, nice and convenient, and it certainly makes it a pleasure to drive and use. XC60, well, pricing obviously does depend on the options you want and what you're going to tick, boxes you're going to tick and not tick along the way. Sunroof, for example, panoramic roof, the Bauer & Wilkins sound system, the City Safe suite. I can go on and on. A car like this, as it stands right now, you're looking at, and I'll have to give you an approximation of about 850,000 Rand as it is on the road right now. And again, I compare to the XC40 and I say that for 50 to 60,000 Rand price difference, unless you really like the smaller car to drive on a day-to-day basis, I certainly think you're getting lots more for your money. But that's my opinion. You have a look, you've got the lovely leather effect to the top of the dash over here with the stitching. Very interesting light color wood effect over here. Lots of cream around. I don't know what it's going to look like if there are kids with sticky fingers after a while, but it certainly does look the part, and that's what counts. I don't have to tell you Volvo safety. It speaks for itself, and I'll leave it at that. Competitors aplenty. We all know. From BMW, from Audi, from Mercedes, from Lexus, they're all there, but it's always a case of, if you like Volvo and this XC60, which has been a World Car of the Year among other accolades that it's received, certainly would rank very high in my book. I think if you're looking for a nice medium to large SUV for your family, this is one you should certainly put on your shortlist. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor. See you next time.